And I will put up the chat function as well, so I can see if you guys have questions, just kind of throw them out there and I can read them from the chat. Otherwise, feel free to just ask your questions and we'll go from there. So anybody like to start?
Yeah, so I joined the class late,
Okay.
before the drop ad period was over. So I missed your first week of Zooms,
Okay.
and I saw when you emailed us today there was a 1:30 session and a 2:30 session. Was
Yeah.
I supposed to be in both of them?
No, I have two different intro classes. So usually they're distinguished by times. So originally, you guys are my like 2:35 class, and my other class is at 1:10.
Okay, so I'll
So,
have to look and see which one I'm actually supposed to be in.
I mean, it doesn't really matter for these live sessions.
Okay.
Feel free to join either one. Time permitting. But basically, you'll see the class you're in your D2L site. You'll be a 101, 0.01, or zero point 0.02. And
Okay.
so, that's not a big deal. But basically, that's what I had, those two different sessions.
Okay. That
And specifically for you and for anybody else who's kind of, missed some things, at this point in the semester, I'm comfortable with you kind of working from behind a little bit. So if you missed the first in-class assignment, if you missed a reading interaction opportunity, feel free to go back and make those up. And
Yeah.
because a lot of people have had trouble accessing things and all that, so that's normal. I want to be patient with you at the beginning of the semester. Like I hope you're patient with me as well, because we're all trying to get adjusted to this, and bumps are going to happen. So
Okay. Yeah. Because I did do the reading like response last week's, or it was earlier in this week.
okay.
But I think there is a couple things like the introduction video.
Okay.
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, so make sure, to go through all those videos. This goes for everybody in the class because, a lot of those videos have important information about our class in general. The class assignments, where to turn in the assignments, where to access your feedback and your grades. So make sure, even though we're past that date-wise, if you haven't done it yet, go back and spend, the little bit of time to watch those videos.
Okay, great.
So yeah, anybody else like to chime in? Any other things we could? Okay, so I'm looking at the chat now. Okay, so it's a good question I've had a few times. So the reading and reaction assignment, from the start of the semester to the very end of it, you have 13 opportunities. So within those 13 opportunities, basically every reading we have outside of our 3 books, it's an opportunity to do this reading and reaction assignment. You're required to do 6. So some people have started off, done the first 3. Some people haven't done any. Some people have done 1 or 2. So that's all, fine right now. Just make sure you get those 6 done by the end of the semester. And you can also do extra ones. So the extra credit points basically are for every, reading interaction you do above the 6 required. And you can do up to 9. And so what I do, with let's say you do 9 reading reactions, I drop the 3 lowest scores and I convert those lower scores into 3 points extra credits. Then I take the 6 highest scores and I count that towards the 60 points for the assignment. So, make sure to do 2 things. Don't fall behind where you don't have enough opportunities to do the required 6. Because, sometimes you get to the end of the semester and you think we have a lot of readings left, but you find out that actually, a large chunk of that is our book. We only have like 3 readings and the rest of it's our book. So don't fall behind too far. And also take advantage of that extra credits. Because the more you're engaged with the class, the more you get out of it, and the more reactions you do, the more extra credit points you can earn along the way. So good. Any other questions about assignments?
Okay, so for me, I've kind of, I think I did it wrong. Okay, so the reading reaction, I do like the little reaction, like the beginning, and then I'm basing mine off of like your like example of it, and so that person wrote like a lot. So like I'm trying to write a lot too. So I'm like, what am I supposed to be writing it about? And so I think I got like the question from like there was a question. Like, okay, so for the last one, not this one, but the last one that I did earlier this week, it was with like social norms and everything. And then like one of the questions were like going on a date or like going like to the movies or something like that. And so I incorporated the what's it called? Like the going on a date with the reading reaction. So like are they two separate assignments?
Yeah, so they're actually two separate assignments. Read your action, ask you to do kind of a two-page, summary response and add two questions to that. That's the reading your action assignment. And the in-class assignment is different. I specifically ask you to do something different for every in-class assignment, where the reading reaction assignment's the same for each reading that you do.
Okay.
And so, I'm getting through the second reading reaction right now. So I graded the first one already. And a couple people haven't gone to their feedback yet. So the feedback is where I give you the grade for the assignments. And I also, kind of tell you what you're doing correctly or perhaps what you're doing incorrectly.
Mm-hmm.
So to access that feedback, you need to go to the assignment section again. And kind of in that area, it will say kind of feedback unread. And when it says unread, that doesn't mean that I haven't read it yet. It means that you just need to click on that and it'll take you to that feedback where you're going to see your grade and perhaps, what you need to do differently if you lost any points.
Oh, okay.
So, I'll get to grading that, if not tonight, that's tomorrow. And just kind of use that feedback as a way to kind of do things differently in the future if you need to.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I was wondering for the book reports, I know it said about using like the in-text citations, but do you want like a references page? Do you want us to like actually cite the book, and if so, what style?
Yeah, so the style, you can use anything you want, as long as, I provide you an example in the paper guidelines. That's what we call the ASA style.
Okay.
That's what we use in sociology. But I know some students have learned, APA or MLA. And if you know that, you can stick with that. That's fine. As long as you're kind of telling me where in the book I can find that information. That's what I'll be looking for.
Okay.
The reference page, you don't need. But I always say it's a good habit to get into, because I know a lot of your courses will ask you to do it. And as you kind of get to kind of higher level classes, you'll be required to do it. But for our purposes, it's the in-text citations is what I'm looking for.
That's what I'm used to. That's why I was like, this seems too easy. Just wanted to ask.
We have a lot of work. And so, I don't want to make it too minimal, but at the same time, I know the book that you're using. If you use outside sources, for some reason, that's when you would have to kind of show me where you're getting the information.
Okay.
But because we're only using kind of one book, I know the actual book, but tell me the page or the pages that you're talking about when you're writing.
Okay, and then so my only other question was, so these Zoom sessions are more like for questions, and then the information for the course is going to be more in the videos.
Yeah, so, I don't want to use these sessions to basically do what I already did in the lectures. And so, hopefully people will come with questions because, again, your question may be for you, but your question just helps everybody else who is in the session now or who will be watching the recorded version of the session later. So, your question helps the entire class. And usually, your question is something that I needed to address anyway, that perhaps I just didn't think about addressing it, or, so again, it's not only one person's question, it's something that the class needs to know.
Okay.
And, but other times, like when we get to the book report, I'll use this live session to really focus on that, because compared to the in-class assignment, which is basically participation points. The read and reaction, once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy points as well. But the book report's more difficult, and it's worth a lot more. And so it's a big chunk of your grade. So I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page when it comes to the report. And that's where I'll kind of start to use these sessions too when we get closer to the due date.
Okay.
All right, so anything else? I was trying to think of my earlier session. We had similar questions about reading reactions and similar question about how they're different from the in-class assignments. The in-class assignments, you have 10, and basically, we have 13 different readings outside of our books. And, often, the in-class assignments are connected to those 13 readings, but we only have 10 of them. So you have some days where we don't have in-class assignments at all. So don't think that you're missing an in-class assignment when you don't see one connected to a reading. And there's going to be a few readings where you can do the reading reaction, but there won't be any in-class assignments. And I tried to kind of assign the in-class assignments heavy at the beginning of the class, just to get you involved, to get you engaged. And then later on throughout the semester, they'll still be around, but you will go periods of times without doing one. So anything else I can cover for you guys? Well, let me say, just in terms of, the class, as I kind of mentioned, if you've missed a couple things, it's okay for now to kind of try to catch up, because the last thing I want you to do is kind of fall behind at the beginning of the semester. And this is more about those in-class assignments. If you've missed one or two, feel free to go back and make those up, because those are easy points to get, but easy points to lose, and they can add up as well. Otherwise, just personally, be patient with my grading. I'm trying to get everything to you as soon as I can so you can work ahead. But sometimes that pushes back the grading. So, I like to think I'm pretty reasonable time-wise getting things back to you, but, it won't be like the next day. I try to do that, but now sometimes it'll be maybe a day or 3 days after you turn it in. So just be patient, and I'll get it to you quickly as possible. Otherwise, anything else I can touch on before the weekend? So I'd say the holiday weekend, but unfortunately they took our holiday away from us, but hopefully some of you guys can at least relax and enjoy yourselves over the weekend. Well, what I'll do now, since, nobody is kind of jumping up with any questions, I'll, invite you guys to leave, get back to your work, get back to some relaxation. If you want to stick around and talk to me about anything, feel free to stick around as well. So here's your first opportunity to leave for today's session. Feel free to hang out and we can talk more.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
Thank
Have a
you.
good one.
You too.
For reading reaction 3, that's Parsons, right?
Yes.
All right. So the articles on culture and leisure, I was kind of confused on the article, so I was like thinking like not doing it, right? And you said that we have like 9 of them, but 6 opportunities to do it, right? Something like that.
Yeah, so, even if you maybe turn it in and you don't get a high score or you don't get as many points as you want, it's still early enough in the class. You can do an extra one, and that one lower score will be extra credit, and then the higher scores will count towards the 60 points total.
All right, then. Thank you.
You're welcome.